I'm Johnny Ray, and this is 5R Recovery, another episode of Four Addicts from Addicts, real, raw, unedited, and unprepared testimonies and stories of people who have gone through the clutches of addiction and are working on getting themselves out, people who have pulled themselves out of the addiction and are working on their recovery.
Escape.
Escape. What's that mean?
Escape.
Oh, escape. All right, see? With me today is Shawn Ray, and we are not related. Johnny Ray, Shawn Ray, I don't know how. I thought we were cousins when we first met, but I don't think we are we?
I don't know. I mean,
we're not related in any way, shape, or form.
I think I have family up in Concrete.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have family up in Concrete. So I want to talk to you a little bit. He wanted to wear his glasses. I'm going to pull in a little bit closer. So how did your addiction start?
That's a tough one because, I listen to a lot of these people that say that they were smoking weed when they were 10 years old or when they were 8 or when they were 13 or even 14, that wasn't me. I really actually had good parenting going on. I attended a Christian school, and so, like I was saying, we had a meeting today in my house here, and I was saying that, if it wouldn't have been for certain parts of my life, then other parts wouldn't have fit in, so to speak. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start off with this. My stepdad was an entire wasteless, like a wet bag waste of nothing. He was just a horrible. He used to beat my mom. He beat me a lot. He used to threaten me to beat my mom if I didn't do things. I mean, I just went through a lot of watching my mom get beat and watching me get beat, and he was a puke,
Mm-hmm.
And so my freshman year, before I started high school, I had talked to my my Sunday school teacher, and she proceeded to tell me that I don't have to worry anymore, that her and her husband had gone to school and got the paperwork signed and are ready to be foster parents. So I was like, cool, I don't have to stay here anymore, worry about this. So I moved to their house, and I got to go to Christian school my sophomore, junior, and my senior year. Did good still then. I mean, we would get together on the weekends and drink. We'd go have somebody sit outside the store and say, "Hey, we give you $10. Will you buy some beer?" Remember that one?
Oh yeah, the classics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hiding behind the wall. People were probably going, "What are these creepy people doing?" Wait, we'll get them. Yeah. So I started drinking like when I was probably 16,
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have a handle on it. I didn't have anybody to talk to at the time. That's the last thing you want to do when you're having a blast, And I mean, let's be honest, when you're really younger and you first start drinking, like the first 6 months or something, you can have a ball. You know what I mean? Somebody will be puking, you're gonna hold their hair for them, or I mean, somebody's walking around and fucking falling in holes because they can't see where they're going, all drunk and idiot laughing like it's funny when it really wasn't, But so I started doing that. So we drank a little bit, probably a lot for some kids, our little clique was just a little bit more, yeah, whatever the word is, because I forgot it. But anyway, so so then my first drug was offered to me about 18, just barely 18, and it was weed. And I'm like, I grew up watching my dad grow weed, so I figured, well, it's not too bad, he lived through it. He's doing whatever, but so I decided to smoke weed, and it was like, I can remember the day exactly. It was that dirty brown hay baled Mexican weed. The one that had the seeds in it. You had to pick them all out. But that shit would just get us just so messed up, so retardedly messed up. Just like, oh my God, I couldn't stand still. I'd probably fall down if nobody was watching me. It was like, dude, this is getting bad. But anyway, yeah. So that's from my younger stages of using. If I'm just think about it now, that's why I'm trying to give you a whole story of what I went through as a kid.
Yeah.
And and as a child, up until 18, no, I didn't want any drugs. I was proud of that.
Yeah.
It's like I used to always look at me in the mirror, and it was like the best person you can ever ask for advice is you in the mirror.
Wow. I'll think of that. I'll consider doing that.
Nobody's around.
Yeah.
You get to look at you, and you get,
What am I doing with my life?
You
Or
get
where
to
do I
answer
go
your
from
own
here?
question, which is great.
Yeah.
But as long as you're honest with yourself, I just started, and then I started realizing it. I was like, man. So me and my best friend, we were riders, and he.
What do you mean, riders?
We're just ride together, die together.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bros for life. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Dude, I love that you know those terminology. Ride or die, dude. That's awesome.
That's right.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. So, my best friend in the whole world, I can't say his name, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, his uncle sold coke. So he's looking at us and seeing that we're all over the place all the time. He's like, "Hey, you guys want to sell some coke for me?" And we're like, "Sure." We had done coke, so we wanted to probably do some.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? As we drop this guy off an 8-ball and he's sitting in a chair and pops it in his mouth and swallows it. What are we gonna do?
No.
Now we got to go tell Uncle Sergio that somebody robbed an 8-ball from him.
Oh no.
But anyway, that was. So I made the decision. Me and Chuck were riding hard. We started getting in fights. People started to want to fight us. We had lists of people who wanted to fight us. Just because and what we do is we drink two 40-ounce Old Englishes and do a rail about like that, some good stuff. They never got like bad stuff back then. It was all like fire, And so, so we had started doing that, and things were getting pretty close to us being probably caught and put in prison, So I decided to move on with my goal in life, which was to be a cowboy, and I moved away from Chuck. I had to get away from him. I had to get as far away from him as I can.
That would have been tough, huh?
I did it.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
We were super toxic. Super toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's one of those things that if I wouldn't have done it, things would have been better.
Yeah.
It's just scary running around dealing with cartel people and shit, and visiting with their Black Panther. One of our bosses had Black Panther in his house.
Wow.
Not a fake one, a real one.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, it makes you sit really still.
Oh my gosh.
It's so cool, but you don't want to move.
No sudden movements.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he looking at me?
Yeah.
Is he looking at me?
That's
awesome.
I always laughed about that.
So
shit.
good.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So there's my childhood. How my childhood got started off in a negative way. And so yeah, I did make the move down to Southern Oregon and started training cutting horses for Donnie Haglin, and in that, I started riding bulls. We'd have a cutting show on a certain date. Well, I'd go ride bulls somewhere else because my boss wasn't into bull riding anymore. He was just into strict big money, training horses for some famous people and like getting paid big cash.
Yeah, dude. People have no idea how much money is in horses. It's insane. If you race horses, if you breed horses, anything with horses is big money.
Yep.
That's crazy. Yep. So keep going. So you did that.
So, and then I met a girl, which, what they say. Anyway, I met this girl. She was from there in Klamath Falls where I lived. And, she would hang. I was a good guy at that point. I was and I still am. But I'm talking about like on how I was dealing the cards. I drank like on Friday or Saturday. That was it. I gotten a weed connect in there somewhere. I had a little bit of weed, so I'd smoke a little bit of weed, drink beer. And then all of a sudden, because I was trying to keep up with her, and she was like, she'd be out of my house, and she'd be awake at like 3 a.m, waking me up, and I'm like, God, what is wrong with her? Dude, I almost kept up with her for like a week, and then I just crashed, man. I was like, I couldn't even stay awake anymore. Yeah. And it wasn't because I had done any drugs. It was because I hadn't done any drugs, and I was trying to keep up with a drug addict.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're going to lose that fight all the time.
Oh, yeah. She kicked my ass. Not literally, but yeah, she was just like, she got to handle it. But anyway, Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, one day I'm sitting in my house, and she'd come over to see me, and she was like, "Oh, sweetie, you look like you're so tired." And I'm like, "I am so tired. I've been trying to keep up with you, you know." And she's like, "Well," she goes, "I have something I gotta show you." And I said, "What's that?" And she pulls out of her pocket this bindle of crank. You know, it was probably like maybe a twan.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't that much, but you don't understand. Like people around this area have no clue what Oregon has. I mean, Oregon they get some freaking fire dope out of Redding and Sacramento, and I mean it was high quality, truly dangerous. Probably
So meth or was it crack?
it was crank.
Oh, crank. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I started doing that with her, and I realized, man, you know, can I speak totally open?
Yeah, yeah. This is
Oh,
100% real. 100%.
okay,
Yep.
okay. So you know, I mean, I'm sitting there trying to figure this bitch out, and it's like she was like, just try some more, you know. And I tried some more. I kept trying some, and I was like, fuck, hey, this is pretty cool, you know. I can work all day. I can come home. I get laid half of the night. I can fucking tweak out on the rest of that half of the night, you know. And then I'll just do so when bright morning comes, and I'll just go to work again. You know, it was like a never-ending cycle. It was genius, you know.
At
At
first.
first,
Seems like a great plan.
yeah, yeah. So I said, fine, let me try it. You know, and she says, here. And I try it, and it's like, whoa! Coke didn't do that to me. I was grabbing my head. I'm just like, ow, 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 ow! What's it doing to my ear? Oh man, I can never forget that feeling. We were just like, ow! Somebody help me!
Yeah.
You know, and yeah. So that was me. I joined the meth crowd. You know, stayed married with her for 5 years. We had a, a daughter together. Her name is Kaylin. She lives in San Diego now with her mom. But anyway, yeah, I mean, she took off with her at a very young age as far as Kaylin was. She was like 4 years old, and her mom jetted off to California, and I couldn't follow him. So that 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 was the first part where I actually felt my heart being ripped out of my chest. Like my buddy told me, he said, "Bro, you can stay at my house up on 50th. Just be careful there. Don't burn it down. It's my grandparents really, but I'm gonna let you stay there, you know." And I remember him dropped me off there, him and all my friends, and they said, "All right, man, well, we're gonna leave now." You know, I had no phone there, you know, and they just dipped out on me, you know, and so me being alone in that time was super toxic for me. Like I'm sure my heart took a big hit right there because I mean I can just remember falling to the floor all just bawling until the spit was just dripped to the floor, just screaming and crying like, oh my gosh, you know. I never saw her taking my little girl away from me. I just never saw that part. I never saw any of it coming. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to say honestly, but I mean, yeah, I didn't see any of it coming, you know. I did when it got right in my face, so you know. So then, see, so that was that was when I really started riding bulls because I worked for Don, and you know we had just talked about him and I moving out to Texas for a couple of months. He had some work he could do out there. Maybe he wanted me connected with these certain people that he said would be good in training. Otherwise, it was don't listen don't listen to any other horse person other than me. So you understand that? You know, because it's like I never learned any bad habits, and that's why he wanted me.
Right.
He's like, "Where did you learn this, that, and the other thing?" And I told him, and he said, "Good, good, good, good."
It's better to take a fresh student who doesn't know anything than to try to convert somebody who already knows something into the thing that they want you to learn.
Yeah, they might just have the worst habit in training that
Yeah.
you don't even know about, and just
Definitely.
fuck things up bad.
Yeah.
You know. So, you know, it was right about that time when I was really seriously getting ready to rock and roll. You know, tell Rhonda, hey, you know what? Thank God we didn't have any kids or whatever, and just took off and run. I should have just ran. You know, I mean, ran. And anyway, so you know, and I told him that. So my ex-wife worked at a radio station, um, country music radio station. It was the music station that I listened to at work. You know, So it was kind of cool to know that she was at work and I was listening to her all day, you know.
Yeah.
And anyway, so yeah, Don fired me, and we had to move into town. And one of my best friends at the time, when I first met him, we were sitting there drinking beers, and he started crying. And I said, "What's the matter, bro?" And he goes, "Shawn, you're a good guy. You don't exist, bro." He's like, "I just don't want to see you go down this road, you know." He goes, "If you go to town, you're gonna start being a fucking meth addict. I know it." He said, "I don't want that for you, so please just don't," you know. He begged me, you know, and I still just let it go through my head and out the other side, you know. But then so yeah, so then I moved into town with Rhonda, and you know, I wasn't working at first, and so I missed a bunch of bull rides, which made my card go down, you know, because you got to have a certain amount of points on your PRCA card in order to continue riding with the PRCA, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like freaking denied it. Like at first, like I was denied like 3 rodeos in a row, where they wouldn't take me because my fucking card was running out, you know. And I'm just like, shit. So then, just a long series of here comes the crank, you know. So then that's when she showed me the crank. She's like, you know, and in the back of my mind, I was talking to God, because God's the one that told me to get away from Chucky. He did. He said, "I know you love him. I know he's your brother, but you got to get away from him. You guys cannot hang out together. You can't play anymore. You're not little kids." You know what I mean?
Nice. Good job, God. Yeah.
Yeah. So
God knows.
He pretty much told me, you know, you got a chance if you take it, but if you don't, who's to know what's to happen, you know?
Right.
And so I was like, yeah, whatever. So, and actually, at that point, I didn't have my own money. She made money at the radio station, you know. But so I had to drop off of the circuit completely, which was kind of hard for me, you know. I'd had a pretty good time doing that. So that killed that part of my life, you know. Um, did a lot of fishing on drugs, you know. We would wake up in the morning, and before we took off, we'd do a line like that big. We're just buzzing, waiting to just cast a line, you know. We'd get out there and freaking cast so many casts, we'd probably cast all day, one after another after another. See my gear go out, fucking hit the water, start reeling, it's all skipping across the top of the water.
Did you catch any fish?
No, well, if you let them dive,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
supposed to, and
yeah.
then you go underneath the water. Yeah,
Kind
you're
of seems
fine.
pointless.
But when he's throwing a rooster tail back behind him, you know, no fish is going to want to challenge that bad boy. Did you see how fast he was? Holy cow! Just blew by them straight through.
Just cast, reel it in. Cast,
Yep.
reel it in.
Yep.
Cast. What are you doing? You're not fishing. This is just casting.
No.
So you did a lot of fishing. Okay.
Did a lot of fishing. Drank a lot of beers too. You know, me and my best friend Ron.
Mm-hmm.
We had it down to a T. You know, we're gonna go get some stuff for barbecue. Who said we were having a barbecue? We did. Right now, we're having it. It's gonna happen. It's a real thing. We'll be back in like 20 minutes. Like, you better be. Okay, yeah, right. And we would just go and buy two half racks of beer or a case of beer and leave. We didn't even go back. We're just out of here. You know, you want to go drink some beers? Yeah, sure. You know, so we just cruise around like crazy Inuits, you know.
Yeah.
Running around all crazy. But yeah, so that's pretty much that's a pretty low key example of how I got started into drugs. And after that, you know, it's like Rhonda cheated on me with some dude at her work. You know, I mean, the days that I was sitting there listening to Dave Charles in the morning going, dude, I love this guy. He's fucking my wife. Yeah, so that was kind of hard on me, you know, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm fucking out of here, you know? And so I planned it right so that I was underneath dude's Ram, his 3500 Ram Charger or whatever the hell they call it. And I watched him come out of the you know, where the station was. Watched them both kiss each other. Watched her go down and get in her car and leave because he was kind of fumbling with some shit or something. Had a 12 gauge shotgun with me with about a 10-inch barrel and a pistol grip. laying underneath his car, just waiting. And as soon as I saw him get to the truck and he started opening it, I just reached out and clipped one of his heels right here. Wham! He hit his ass. I drug him under the truck and I just said, "Boom!" And he, they weren't real.
Oh my gosh, you just freaked me out.
Yeah, we took all the shells out of
That
there.
story just went from crazy to crazy, bro. Like, I'm like, oh my god.
So right.
So there were blanks?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So what I didn't remember is that blanks have a plastic, like a cover over them.
Oh, yeah.
To keep all the shit back here, you know.
Yeah.
So that hit him in the face. He got real scraped up real bad right here and up to his eye. He got some flash burns. You know, but I told him the next time I seen him, I was gonna kill him, and he said, "Please don't." He just explained everything. He was like, "You know what? There was nothing. It was. She didn't have a ring, all right." And I'm like, "Huh? Well, maybe you want to look better last time." And I just jetted, and I didn't go anywhere. I went straight here. I came home, went up to my mom's house, told her what happened. She said, "Well, you're just gonna stay with us for a while." I'm like, "Yeah." You know, but that was, that was hard. You know. Here we had a 2-year-old little girl, and mommy's off fucking sucking off the fucking dickhead on the country music station. So yeah, at that point I made the decision that fuck her. That's fucked up, because at that point in life I hadn't been a cheater with her. We were pretty much solid with each other, But then when she decided she was gonna start fucking everybody that she used to fuck it, and when she was at school, I mean, I got told the truth by her sister, like on a lot of things, like basically like when she asked me how many people I was with and could I calculate that, I said yeah, about 11, which was true, I mean, totally true. There's a couple of times at parties that maybe I might not have remembered, but I've always, even when I've been drinking, I mean, I keep a pretty good head on me. I mean, I cannot say that I can't say that I haven't ever blacked out, but I can say that I have. I have. And anyway, so I said, fuck this shit. I'm staying home with mom. Mom was just like, you gotta get a job. And I was like, I know that. And so about the Rhonda thing, I'm like, because part of me still loved her, because I was honest at that point. I was pretty good. I was pretty solid, and I asked my grandma, because that's what I told myself. I said I got to ask my grandma, and I have to ask my mom. That's the best advice I'm going to get right now. What do I do? My mom said, "You know what, hon, that's your decision. I'm sorry, I can't help you with it." Talked to my grandma. And you know what my grandma told me? She said, "If you can forgive her in your heart, and it'll settle down, and you can remember the love that you had for her, or that you do have for her, then keep her." She says, because if you get with her and you can't forgive her, you're both gonna lose. Which was, I believe, good advice, because that's the truth. So anyway, along with her being gone, I moved back up to my mom's, and second day I was there, some dude called me from Pennsylvania, asking me please not to murder his son. So homeboy had gone home to his parents, same time I went home to my parents, and asked his parents what to do, and they said, "Here, let us take care of that." So they talked to me on the line. I told them everything, and told them what their fucking son had been doing too. And I said, "This is fucked up." I don't care if yeah, you know what? Because she wore a ring, okay, and so when she said we were having problems, the problems were bigger than that ring. They were a lot bigger than that ring. That's why I always zoom into that ring, because I have my own bank account, and the bitch got a spare card somehow and pulled all my money out. And then when I went home and she had a freaking ring on her finger, I was like, "Nice ring, nice finger, or nice ring." And she says, "Yeah, do you know how I got it?" And I said, "No." She goes, "You got it, silly." And I'm like, "Oh, whoa, this is crazy." She's like, "We're gonna get married," and I'm like, "Dude, I hadn't even thought about it." I'm like, "Are we okay?" Yeah. So that's pretty much how I got married to my ex-wife.
So how did you get brought here to this clean and sober house?
I was homeless. Tired of being homeless. Tired of running around with the group. For a while, ran around with these guys. that said they were my brethren, you know, which really wasn't true.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part. You know. Yeah, so I decided that, you know, maybe I should, you know, because I made a point in my life that I was going to quit meth, you know, which I did. Like I said, we talked about it at the meeting, but I'll tell you here again. I have 3 years off of meth on November 24th.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So I can go on continuing, you know, it's like every day that I wake up sober, some part of that day I'm going to take a breath like I just did and just go, wow, thank God. You know,
Yeah.
I don't miss it at all, you know,
Good.
at all. Yeah. So.
Well, that's awesome, dude. Great story, Shawn. I didn't even have to ask you any questions. That was great. I appreciate you sharing this with me. Sharing it with people. As you can see that, this is the second time I've ever talked to Shawn. We saw each other out in a little meeting that we had outside, and I did the whole, you know, are we related bit. But what he's gone through is exactly, I mean, I hear a story of growth. I hear a story of transformation, struggles. You know, to be honest, I've never met a bull rider before. I've never met a person who was a cowboy who, to be honest, I didn't think cowboys did meth. To be perfectly honest, I just didn't assume, you know, maybe that's me living in a box. But to be honest, that's it. It was very interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I guess the last question I would ask you is, why did you agree or why did you want to do this video?
Because it's time that I start speaking out to younger people than me.
That's nice, dude.
Call it being in a school or maybe even a college class here and there, of just, you know, hopefully there's some kids or other people out there that haven't done the drug that are thinking about it. You know, they're sitting there, they're constantly, you know, because I mean, I gotta say, you know, when I first learned about it, I was always thinking about it. I was like, man, I wonder. First thing I was thinking is, how do you make this shit? You know?
Yeah.
And then I finally, anyway, yeah. I did some research, but it was, you know, it was kind of guided research, if you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. You know, I kind of sent. Anyway, yeah.
So you want youth to know and maybe step away from that. It's awesome, man. It's very honorable of you, especially after what you've gone through.
Yeah, hopefully this time next year, I'm working on getting a Harley, and
ooh,
I will ride again. You know, I just got to make sure that it's with the right people, not with the wrong people.
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, whatever. It's easy to ride with some people when you wouldn't think it was, but it is, you know?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing this story, brother. You can find me, 5 Hour Recovery, on all social media platforms. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can watch this video on YouTube. Please subscribe to my channel. You can like it with a thumbs up. If you want to email me and get your story, you can send me an email at foraddictsfromaddicts@gmail.com. And thank you, everyone, for listening. And most importantly, thank you, Shawn. You're the man.
Did you see I'm trying to grow?
You look like Hulk.
No. Oh. I'm trying to get the whole Sam Elliott thing going.
Okay.
Yeah. Growing this for a grip.
That's nice. You're looking good, brother. And I like the sunglasses too.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.